Live streaming is on.
Hey everyone, it's Esta Ladybug checking in. It's Sunday, so we are doing our sip and stitch that we'll be doing every Sunday at 4 p.m. PST. So I'm in California. So this is the time zone that I'm in. Every Sunday at 4 o'clock, we'll be doing a sip and stitch. And these sip and stitch are for a cause. That cause is Believe in What You Dream. Believe in What You Dream is a non-profit arm of Yarn Movement where we are helping young girls discover their superpowers. And we utilize crochet as a vehicle to help them both get empowered theoretically and economically. So today's sip is coming from my favorite folks over at Shaka Tea. Thanks, Bella and Micah. You guys are awesome. Shaka Tea is a Hawaiian-based tea company that the main secret product is Mamaika, which is a plant that grows in Hawaii, and it's a superfood, and it's for every diet. This is keto friendly, this is vegan friendly, this is everybody friendly, and it is Ladybug friendly today because it's hot in California, y'all. So I'm gonna start this off by taking a sip. Cheers to all of you all. Happy Sunday. Cheers to summer to many of you. And let's get started. It's so refreshing. I'll say, okay, so if this is your first time tuning in with a sip and stitch, just to give you a little bit of the flow, I like to start off by creating yarn balls. Yarn balls are a great way to get your body just balanced, allow you to just settle up from whatever was going on in your life prior to sitting down and going face to face with me, or just going face to face with your yarn. This is a great way, as I like to call it, this is the quote unquote get your roll on. And that is literally you rolling out energies, and they don't necessarily have to be negative energies, but it just could be an energy that you don't want to necessarily hinder you from getting yourself to that place of self-care, self-awareness, and all those things. So I do yarn balls for that. And don't worry if it's your first time making a yarn ball. If you're not familiar, it's fine. I like to say it's also a great reflection of life, because these are, it's kind of like a spherical, not quite perfect, but almost perfect shape. They also can come out wobbly and do all that, but that's kind of how life is. Sometimes it's, life is kind of wobbly and unsure. So with that being said, let's just jump into it. I kind of started already because I was just working on some quick videos before I jumped on live. So to get started, you're going to find the beginning of your yarn, right? I like to do this because I prefer not to have a whole bunch of yarn just rolling around my bag and it gets tangled in my lipstick and my keys and all over the place. So don't do that. So to get started, you want to find the beginning, and you want to take whatever your strong hand is, and you're going to wrap opposite. So my strong hand is my right hand. Although I have a little bit of ambidextrous, or a talent of ambidextrous, I like to say that my strong hand is my right hand, and my left hand is more of like the one that's like weak. So wrap 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you should have like a little loop. And you're going to take this loop and you're going to wrap in between to make almost like a bow tie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to fold over, and you're going to just kind of wrap. And that's why I say it's like getting your roll on, because you almost do the dance with it. Get your roll on. And just want to keep on rolling and rolling and rolling until all of your yarn is done. And like I said, I did a pre one, so I won't take up the whole time just rolling yarn balls. But yeah, this is the way you get started. Again, this is a way to help you balance your energies, release some just unnecessary, like if you watch the news, if you've been dealing with your kids, your spouse, and you are getting on each other's nerves because you're like all over each other, or it's just hot, because it's hot in California right now. It is blazing, right? And this is just the way to roll it all on out. And this is a moment of self-care because in our workshops for Believe in What You Dream, we have three pillars. The three pillars for Believe in What You Dream starts off with number one, acknowledging that you believe in your dream, right? It's almost understood that you have dreams because everyone does have dreams. But, the thing about taking it just from the stance or the phase of it being a dream, the first step with believing it is that you have to believe it, right? And so within believing, we have three ways to get you there. The first is visualizing it. And the visual effect of it is creating dream catchers. So we utilize dream catchers as a way to, number one, as we like to call it, it's the think link methodology, right? So you're literally thinking and you're linking it to your hands, right? And while you're linking it to your hands, you're creating something that it becomes a reminder, a daily reminder that before you go to sleep at night, you see this dream catcher. When you wake up, you see this dream catcher. And both are to remind you that no matter what happened in your day, that you're going to sleep knowing that you have a dream to believe and you wake up with the dream to live out, right? So every day is an opportunity for you to live out your dream. So that's why we make the dream catcher. Secondarily, we do a little journaling. So I have my journal always in front of me. I have multiple journals, but this is the one that I've been writing in lately, right? And literally are writing down. So on one instance, you're doing something where you're creating a visual effect of what your dream is going to look like, and a reminder that when you're going to sleep and waking up, then you write it down. And we call it the process of journaling your journey, because it starts off with you having a dream, you believe it, then you write it down, right? Daily, you visualize it, you think about it, or whatever it may be, but you write it down because now you're manifesting, right? But something that's important about journaling and also just writing it down is that there's another step with that. And that step requires for you to go back and discuss what happened, right? So you took out you took the step, you took out your book, you wrote out what your dream was, and now it's your responsibility to go back and say, well, what did you do? What exactly did you do? Well, I did such and such. I talked to this person. Then you want to write out the outcome, good or bad, right? You want to write out just the whole process, the whole experience, what worked for you, what didn't work for you. And you just continue to do that. And you continue each day, each week, each month, all the way down to 6 months to a year to 5 years, 10 years. Because what happens is eventually you're going to get to a point where you're going to achieve the success that you want, right? In every step. So the thing about wanting people to understand why you want to believe in your dreams versus just following your dreams, like most people are telling you, is that the term follow in its just definitional form says that it must require some steps of action or instruction for you to follow, correct? And so what you're doing is creating your own specific steps of action based on your own experience. Now, many of us, we can think back, like, because I can say for myself, like, my mental Rolodex is really solid. Like, I can think about things people may not always remember what people said or did, but I always knew and remember how it made me feel in the moment. Something I did, how did it make me feel? Was I excited? Was I happy? Did I, accomplish something? Was it something that I didn't want to do anymore? I write it in the book. And then so when I go back, I can say now, who's S. Ladybug? Well, I started this journey 12 years old, learning to crochet, just spending time with my grandmothers. Had the idea that I was going to start a business in high school, started the business, had, some small minor success where I could buy some sneakers and put some money in my bank account. Then by the time I got to school, freshman year at Howard University, I launched my first business for crocheting. And ever since then, it's been I've been going through the motions, as I say, before I finally jumped in the pilot seat of my journey, which now I'm the pilot of Yarn Movement. And for you, you can say the same thing for yourself. And it starts off by journaling that process. And the last part of that process is going through and learning to crochet. Now, crocheting is the way of connecting all of it together. one thing about crocheting is all about the hook and chaining, right? So literally, if you utilize the metaphor of hooking and chaining or crocheting, you are creating this tapestry of life that you're living, right? And so literally every chain matters. Sometimes you may get to a point where it's very loose, it could be very tight, you're changing color, and that is the same as you're transitioning through life. You know, there are going to be stressful times. There are going to be times where you're feeling relaxed and very cool and chill, calm, cool, and collected about what's going on, along with the fact that every step you're taking, you're going to connect or chain with people, and they're a part of your life. They're a part of your journey. And that is the most important part that I am trying to get each girl to understand that going through the workshop, that it doesn't matter the fact that you decide if you're going to crochet and take on this career. That's not what I'm after. I'm after helping them understand that there is a part of them that can do anything in life, and they have to be able to recognize it for themselves. And when they do, it's on and popping. Now they can get in their own, pilot seat and take on the world and understand through the lesson of journaling their journey, and even just remembering every day when they wake up, this is your dream. You get to visualize, because you had that dream catcher, you went to sleep, you woke up to it, you're journaling your process, you're talking about the things that are working and what's not working. And all of a sudden you have flight plans of how you're going to navigate to get yourself to ultimately taking on your lifestyle, taking on this dream and living your dream life that you deserve. And for many of us, we don't get it until after we've had a few jobs, had a few bad relationships, started a few bad businesses, had some success, but, hit a wall, hit a ceiling, and we had to go back. And it's in those moments where you hit a ceiling, you have a result that you don't want, that you go back to a drawing board, then you start thinking about and really trying to remember the accuracies of how you did something. But if you have a journal where you journal your journey, you can go back and understand what the framework is for you and your success. And that is the key that every online guru is trying to teach everyone. But the missing part is the fact that you are the missing part in that journey. Like, you are the pilot. People can give you your flight plans all day, but still you are going to take those same flight plans and work them the way you want to work them. Right? Like, I can teach 1 million people to crochet, which is my goal, to teach 1 million people, by the way. So you could be one of those million if you want. 1 million people to crochet. But even if I show you the plan, the pattern, therefore, show you how to do it, you're still going to have your own style. And that is the key, right? So that's what I'm here doing every Sunday. And I want to encourage people to get a part of this journey. And I understand also that it is not for everyone, right? But if you are interested in helping girls who are otherwise ignored, living in, the ruralest parts of the world, or just living in areas and communities where they're just missing that just extra piece of spark, that, you just need somebody to come in and remind you, like, hey, listen, you're dope. You can do this. And by the way, dope stands for determined, optimistic, passionate, and energized. And if you hear me saying you're dope, that's what I'm telling you. And it's like a nod, a pound, like, hey, I see you, sis. Bruh, you popping. Girl, you can do this. And whoever's doing something, it's just like, yo, because it meant that for me, when I'm looking at it, that you went through all your steps. This is beyond the 10,000 steps. This is you first believing in what you're dreaming, taking the steps to create the journey to get there. And then last, just connecting it all together to ultimately get to a point where people can see it. And for me, that's dope, because what you don't get is the background journey that, it's the long nights. It's the naysayers that you run into along the way. It's those folks who are asking you, oh, why are you doing that? Because that doesn't make any sense. Till finally getting to the point where first they hate it. Now they want to do it, right? And meanwhile, I just wrote a post today that just says, I'm in my own lane, minding my own business, literally. You know, am I telling you I'm the best crocheter in the world? No. But am I telling you that I believe in what I do? Absolutely. Um, I've had a journey with it. It's been over, over 22 years at this point, and I'm still going. And it's been able to allow me to just maneuver like I say, like a pilot. You jump in a pilot seat, you can go anywhere you want to as long as you believe it, as long as you have a plan, and as long as you have like just an opportunity to see it through with the tools, right? You need the right tools to do it. I mean, your tools are your instructions. And that is what the Believe in What You Dream workshop is all about. I'm going to go ahead and do just a few more rolls with this so we can actually get to a place where I'm beginning to start putting the squares together so you can see what it's all about. So this project or initiative that we're working on now is centered around granny squares. And granny squares, for any of you who were just tuning in or you're watching already, granny squares for me just pay homage to the journey that I've been on. When you say journaling your journey, for me, it doesn't matter if it's a pen or a computer or therefore a crochet hook. That's still my way of just being expressive in my moment of expressing my dream and living it out. And so for me, making granny squares just take me back to those moments, sitting Indian style on the floor and watching as my grandmother's friend crochet and teach me. And so today's square is military fatigue and yellow. And this is what we're going to be using to make today's beanie. So the granny square beanies are being sold as a way to raise fund and support for Believe in What You Dream. So one beanie will support two girls. Two girls will receive the Dream Girl kits. Within the Dream Girl kits, it will include all of the materials needed to participate in the workshop itself. So to make the dream catcher, they'll have their journal and a pen, something to write with, along with the crochet hooks, the yarn, the scissors. That's one part of the Dream Girl kit. But the other part is making sure that they have things to just sustain the lifestyle of just being a girl. And, looking at some of the social disparities that are faced with many of the girls who are living out in rural areas where, challenges are money, resources, water, light. And for Believe in What You Dream, we decided to address personal care products and personal energy. So we partnered with a solar energy company so we can give solar lamps as a part of the Dream Girl kit, and then also personal hygiene or personal care products. So we're doing soap and lotions and sanitary products, because if they don't have sanitary products, it's very difficult to go to school because, kids will be kids, tease you, no one wants to be that girl. And so while I'm in there getting them all hyped up on Believe in What You Dream, want to make sure they have the proper tools to sustain it. So that's what we're doing. And I am going to get started on putting this together. I'm also going to actually start the live for Facebook because I did get a text message. I'm like, oh, I thought you were going live on Facebook. Just 1 second. Okay. So if you are a crocheter or a knitter and you're just tuning in, we are working on Granny Square beanies. The Granny Square beanies are a way to help at least Yarn Movement engage with the community of those who are crafters yourselves, who may be interested in participating in helping us empower young girls and just join in the movement. So We are doing Granny Square beanies as a way to sell for the purchase or support the Dream Girl kits. Um, and so the Dream Girl kits, one beanie will purchase two Dream Girl kits. So basically, one beanie will empower two girls. Within those Dream Girl kits for the workshop, again, just for those who are just tuning in, the workshop will be teaching crochet, but we start off with just a long process, the three-part process that we call the Think Link methodology. So we first start off by making a dream catcher. The dream catcher is to help visualize your dream. You go into journaling your journey to help you write down and create steps for you to follow as you continue on your journey, to go back and see what worked, what didn't work. And then lastly, learn to crochet as a way to just connect it all together and chain it all together. So that is what we're doing here. Decided to sell crochet granny square beanies because, it's something just near and dear to my own heart, I guess. I'm actually going to put another row. So these are 4 rows, but I'm going to put an extra row just to make it a little bigger. Plus, I just like how they look. So if you see someone out wearing a crochet granny square beanie, know that they supported a girl in the world to get empowered. Hey there. Thank you. Where are you checking in from? Jersey. I don't know how the weather is in Jersey, but here in California, it's hot as fish grease. Oh, I have to be sure to follow you. Hey, Richie. Man, it's blazing today. I just can't believe it. And I really want to go outside so bad, but our numbers, like literally getting in a pool is like a cesspool, right? No thanks. Oh yeah, so you're familiar with this area. Yeah, I'm up in the Bay. This may make it too big. I'm with it though. Hey, hey. How are you? What's going on, mamacita? Is it hot in LA? Because up here in the Bay, it's feeling like Africa. That's what we got to do, right? Stay busy. Because don't get distracted. Oh, man. How's the weather up there? Oh, you said it's a hot weekend. It's like 100 here right now. For no reason. For no reason. Oh yeah, I'm in the Bay now. Girl, if I was in LA, we would have been saw each other. Okay, stop playing. Let's see. I thought I turned this on. Here we go. Working waistband for someone that has lupus. Oh, that's dope. Make sure you post it so I can see it. Okay. Now we live on Facebook too. Oh, we're doing some things today. This is forcing me to be creative with my process. So I'm on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Instagram, what's up, y'all? Facebook. Today's sip is coming from Shaka Tea for those who missed it because it's hot outside, and this is a great way to quench your thirst. Quench your thirst. Yeah, it is because there's no sugar. It's sweetened with monk fruit. It's super just organic. Good for your body. It feels good going down. It's cold. Get this in your life. You have never gone live on YouTube. Yeah, no, this is my first time going live, so I have no idea how it's gonna look on YouTube, but we out here. If it looks horrible, I just know I need to make adjustments. But all in all, hopefully people are just coming to hear the story. You know, Speaking of which, I'll share a story of why and how. How do you purchase tea? Oh, so Drink Shaka Tea is their page, and then they are basically in every store. I mean, they just picked up a partnership with um, the Vitamin Shop and I think GMC, and they're in a bunch of grocery outlets and stores. But I'm not exactly sure what stores in Jersey, unfortunately. But if you look online, I know that they're Amazon, and then they also have their own website. So it's just Shaka Tea, like Shaka Zulu. Yeah, well, thanks. Because I will have you know that through it all, I'm sweating a whole lot right now. Yeah, they're definitely in Whole Foods. And it's definitely good. And these aren't paid ads. This is just today's sip. I think this hat is going to end up being big, but I'm fine with it because some people have big heads, and I'm one of them. So I can wear my hair, Sometimes it's tamed, like it's semi tamed right now, but I don't know. After I finish sweating today, because I plan on getting on my bike. I don't know how that's going to work. I might just go up to the block because, again, it was not a good idea. The other day I went walking and my goal was to do a mile and I ended up doing half a mile because it was just so hot. It was like the sun was leaning on my shoulder, like, what's up there? I was like, okay, I got you, son. You right. What am I thinking? Oh man. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out new products to use because I don't know, this quarantine has done different things to my hair. See, my hair is used to every 3 months being in braids, traveling, getting some, great sun, going to get some ocean water, little pool water action so then I can wash it and put some good product in it. And since I've been on quarantine, that's just hasn't been happening. And so I feel like my hair is just dry. So I'm going to work on, you know, keep on trying new products. If you guys have like recommendations, um, I don't know exactly what my curl pattern is. Sometimes I feel like it's the 4C, I guess, but other times, girl, I just don't know. I feel like it just do whatever it wants to do when it wants to do it. So yeah. So if you have any recommendations for the dude, the hair that wants to do what it do, just let me know, and I'll try it. But I have used a new product from a company called Cherokee Hair Products. So I really like the smell. It's 100% um, organic products, no chemicals. It's oil based. So it's an oil based soap and an oil based conditioner. And it's been doing good in my hair. I'm not exactly sure how much of all of it I should use. So still working on that process. But I only used it once so far. So um working on that to see how my hair is gonna work out. But I really want to get some braids, but I just can't pull myself to go outside like that. I haven't had any human interaction with anyone since February 25th, except for people who are in my close family that I take care of my dad and my grandmother, so I see them every day. But other than that, you know, just haven't. Scary, maybe, but just want to be extra precautious because when the world does open, I'm out of here, and I am not allowing, some sickness to hold me back. Lipton tea. Oh, green tea though, not just regular Lipton. Okay. So Lipton tea, steep it, put it into a spray bottle as it's cool. Okay, don't put hot tea in my hair. I got it. Mm, okay, I'm gonna try it. Someone told me to try rice water. I have not used it because I felt like it had like an interesting smell, and I just don't want my hair to dry and smell like that. So I haven't used it yet, but I'm sure it works. Use the tea as a leave-in. Oh no, no, but I do. So I do go outside. I have a garden, so I go out and pick my greens and the tomatoes and get the mail. Well, that's not exactly true. I don't really get the mail. I put the mail in a box, then I throw it in the house, like to the side of the door, so then I can bleach it. Um, and then when my groceries come from Lyft, I mean from Lyft, from Instacart, I leave them instructions to leave them on the porch. Then I like clean those. So I do go outside. I just haven't had any interactions with people outside of doing FaceTime. I FaceTime a whole lot just to check in because I got to see people's face. And then it helps to do these lives. You know, I don't always get to see other people, but it makes me feel like people are watching. So um, I have that part. And then I don't know. I take a whole lot of vitamins, and I do shakes and supplements. Um, I do need to get outside a little bit more though, but I'm okay with it now. I don't have any anxiety. I went out and started my car because I was concerned that it wouldn't start since it hadn't been started since February. But I turned it on, it started. It was like, okay, because normally I do take good care of my car. So um, it started, and it had no gas, but it started. Uh, so I went to the gas station, and it's pretty funny because I don't know. I think people are just, like me. Maybe they go to a gas station and have like human interaction, but every guy who got out the car, it just seemed like a whole bunch of guys at the gas station. I was like, okay, but I don't look cute though. I'm out here with my Unabomber clothes on, and you know, these guys were like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Not today. Don't come close." But it's nice to see you. Hey, hey, keep your Rona over there if you have it. Like, But but for real, I laughed with it, so it was a joke, but it was like serious. I was really like having anxiety because I was just like, don't let me come to the gas station and this be the place. So I had two pair of gloves on. So I paid for my gas at the pump, put the gas in, put it back, took that pair of gloves off, threw them away. So I had another pair of gloves on so I could drive with. Yeah, I was being like extra precautious just because probably because I watched the news before I went out, and they were saying, "Oh, it's airborne now," and I'm like, "See, I just can't." Because again, when it's time to go back out, I'm going out. Okay, I'm gonna get me some new stamps, my passport. Gonna go new destinations. Go check out my girls. Because that is always a part of my travel, making sure that I do a workshop wherever I land, or somehow going to meet new artisans so we can figure out how we can do some business together. So I keep it business first, then, you know, play or fun or exploration at the same time. So these colors are popping. Oh, shout outs to Priscilla if you're watching. Priscilla is my cousin. She crochets as well. And she has committed to making 20 sets of granny squares for beanies. So that's 20 beanies. That means that Priscilla is going to be helping 40 girls with the 20. Because for every one beanie serves two girls. So thanks, Priscilla. Let me show you guys my progress. So it takes 8 granny squares to make the beanie. And so I'm just putting extra color because I want this beanie to be actually a large. If I were to make it just this size with the 4 colors, it would be a medium or a small, depending on how much space I put in between as I'm closing it up. But I want it to be a little bigger, just so you have room so you can wear slouchy and can be really cute with it or look fly for the fellas. For those who are just tuning in, this is the Sip and Stitch. I'm Estelle Ladybug. I'm the pilot of Yarn Movement. Every Sunday, I will be going live and sipping and stitching and talking like I'm doing now, as a way to just open up space, share stories, um, just share the process, let you guys know that I'm real, I'm human. I'm really passionate about everything that I do, whether it's, creating something for one of my customers or doing stuff for girls as I'm working with them for the nonprofit arm of Yarn Movement, which is called Believe in What You Dream. If you haven't had a chance to watch videos as of yet, you can go on YouTube and check out our travels for Believe in What You Dream. So far, we've been to 3 countries. For official Believe in What You Dream. It took a while to get to a place where A, I had the nonprofit registered, and B, I really even just understood, like the mission and had it in a framework that just made sense so we can scale it over and over again. So, first year was Nigeria, where it was more of a test, a pilot test to make sure that I would be able to go into another country, culture, come in and teach crochet to see if it would be received. It was. The follow-up year was Morocco. Worked with girls there, and we did the full out program where they learned to make dream catchers. We did some journaling, and then also taught them to crochet, just a basic lesson. Till last year, which was the year that really, really just made us know that now we have something really going. Because the goal was to work with 300 girls, and we worked with 3,000. And we were able to make a very, very substantial impact, not only just doing the workshop to help them just discover that superpower on their own, but also partnering with the local coalition that we created with a solar energy company, a few impact nonprofits. We were able to really do some really awesome work and plan on continuing to do so, because it's something that's needed. I wouldn't have never thought in a million years of just some of the experiences. Like, for instance, I thought 300 girls was, a lot, until we get to our first installation. So installation, the solar energy company decided to install solar into the school as well. So they installed solar into the school. Meanwhile, I taught, the Believe in What You Dream workshop, and also gave the products. So not only the materials needed for the workshop itself, but also they received the solar lamp, and personal care products and hygiene products, including sanitary products for those who are of age. And first school we pull up to, there were 1,200 kids at the school. And that is when I knew right away that, number one, we had a good mission, a good, program that was created, but also it was something that was needed and received. Because not everything that's created, has alignment with what you're looking to do or what a region you're looking to do it in. And we did. And so now, with that outcome, decided that it was time to really just share the stories. I believe in storytelling because I believe that that is what really rings true to me, outside of me just being able to say, oh, okay, well, this is our mission. This is what we're planning on doing. When I come and say, this is what's been done, and this is what we'll like to do moving forward. And this is how you can be a part of the program. This is how you can, either contribute money to purchase the materials and, to put together the Dream Girl kits. If you are a crocheter and you're interested in making granny squares, you can, send over granny squares as a way to, when I'm doing these lives, I can make the hat live, use the granny squares that you send over, like Priscilla sent today. And what happens is now we turn around and sell this, and now the two of us or the two brands have a way to really work together for a larger cause, which is helping to empower two girls with the one beanie that's being created or the several that comes out of it. So, and if you're just interested in just making a donation, you can visit donate.yarnmovement.com, and there is a portal for you to read more about the program, select how many girls you may want to impact, and boom. And then, it's a double because it is a nonprofit, so you will get the write-off of any contribution that's being made. And we can continue to just do it over and over. And if you're interested in keeping up with the process and the program, I make sure to, if you guys are following me on social media, I have a million videos and photos, but I believe in capturing stories and also the follow-up story to see, what has it led to, what kind of outcomes moving forward, because that's important. You want to know that the time that you're spending or the money that you're contributing to someone's life is being received and it has a positive outcome. So that's what's going on. Until every Sunday, I'm going to come on live and repeat that same story over and over again until, people who are interested in being a part of it reach out and join the movement, and we can continue to do it over and over again. Because again, the goal is a million, million girls impacted, you know, and 3,300 was really the number that I thought was my comfort zone, and 3,000 ended up being it. So I know working with a few other people who have a compassionate heart to do the same, just imagine the impact that we can have together. That's what I'm going for. Hey, Jolene. How you doing, girl, on this hot day? So since I have four done, I'm gonna put together one side because at least on Instagram, I'm gonna have to turn that one off. Um, 'Cause I want to be able to keep my video this time, and last time I wasn't able to. So I'm gonna do it this way. Yeah. All right. So in order to put these together, it's kind of like the process of quilting, where you're just stitching the edge together. So I'm just going to go through and stitch the edge. How are things going for you? Have they opened the college back up? Are you guys doing online or what's going on? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey, Kristen girl. Oh yeah, Jolene, yes. I'm gonna be posting more bathing suits because I have been working on some new designs. Um, I've been heavily working on male stuff because I've been getting a whole bunch of orders from males, which I love because the Corrado that I created, which is my version of a sangha, is really dope, and I have just the right yarn for it. So, along with the cable tanks, I love making those. So, those are the two pieces as far as swimwear that I'm offering for this season for men. Then, you know, there's the bikinis, and I actually have a few crocheters who are collaborating with Yarn Movement this year. So I'm going to be sharing their designs this week. So there's a lot of different options. Keep the movement going. So we have two squares together. It takes 8 to make a full hat. So as I said, I have just a few more minutes on Instagram before they hate on me and cut me off. But I am live streaming for the very first time on YouTube. So we'll see how it comes out. I've been told already it looks good. So but I'll see how it looks, because if it turns out really well, then shout outs to me on that. Because yeah, I don't have a tech department. It's just, me. Oh, girl, I'm on quarantine. Those are my videos from when I did the shoot for the Mel's swimmer line. I just never shared them. I'm scared to go out because I'm going to want to have, unrestricted engagement. And I don't really have a whole lot of, human engagement anyway, but it's tough. I already travel in a way where I always have sanitizer and Lysol wipes or Clorox wipes or something to wipe down just because of the airborne pathogens and viruses that can carry that way. Um, but now it's just a little different, and I want to make sure that it's all the way clear. Okay. So again, I'm just going to close out Instagram. So you guys on YouTube and Facebook, you stay here, and I'm going to close out on Instagram. For those who are watching, this is Sunday Fun Day, where we do Sip and Stitches every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can hear me talk and be silly and share stories about yarn movement and the journey around Believe in What You Dream as I make granny squares for the Granny Square beanies that are being sold to support Believe in What You Dream nonprofit. So today's sip again came from Shaka T. Hey, Shaka T. Uh, and look out for more information. But if you're interested in making a donation, please visit donate.yarnmovement.com, and you'll be able to make a selection on how many girls you want to impact. If you're interested in purchasing one of the Granny Square beanies, you can click the link in the bio and it says Yarn Movement collaboration with Mr. Nicholas Mayfield, because he's doing t-shirts and they're really, really dope too. And everything is handmade. This is slow fashion, um, but it's all about bespoke for us, being able to tailor thoughts and pieces that go with your lifestyle. So, with that being said, to my folks on Instagram, this is Estelle Ladybug checking out. Okay, that was fun. Oh, look at these faces. Let's do that one. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to keep on working on this to make sure at least I can finish on my first YouTube live. So again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is S. Ladybug. I am the pilot of Yarn Movement. Yarn Movement is a um, global fashion and lifestyle brand that was created to really, really help inspire consumers to honor and respect handcrafted goods, artisans who are holding on to traditions that have been passed over years and years and years. For me, myself, the obviously I'm a crocheter, I'm crocheting here, and I want people to understand the love and the compassion that I put into the pieces and the thought process that goes into creating bespoke, tailored, also custom crochet pieces, that you can't buy anywhere else. You can't go to Amazon, log on, and walk away with the type of energy that goes into something that's handcrafted. So we have that. Today we are focused on making granny square beanies because granny squares were just remind me and take me back to those times with my grandmother and her friends as each of them were working on, handcrafted pieces whether it be, doilies or some quilting or some cross stitching. And for me, it just takes me back to that time. And so figured it'll be a nice symbol to use and utilize as a way to raise funds for the nonprofit for Believe in What You Dream, because that is that feeling, that grandmother love, that feeling of energy that is, the unspoken love that you feel that is takes you back to childhood and takes you back to that place where you just know that for sure that what's being done for you is done from a place of unconditional love. So that's why the granny square was selected. So, if you see someone or you yourself purchase a granny square beanie, you know what is representing um, your love that you're putting into helping young girls discover their superpowers. You want to be a part of their journey and make sure that they grow up to be the fearless leader, fearless woman that they deserve to be. So that's what we get to do together. And if you're interested in making a donation, just click on donate.yarnmovement.com and you'll be able to read a little bit more. If you're interested in watching a video, if you're on YouTube, you can pull up YouTube and just watch some of our excursions before. And you'll also see our Fly Girl show. Fly Girls is an intimate look into the creative hustle through the stories of women who are dope. When I say dope, dope means determined, optimistic, passionate, and energized. And that's what we get to dive into some of the stories of many women that if you're from certain areas or if you follow them online, you will know them or know their style. And if you don't, you have an opportunity to be introduced to it. So that's what's going on here. As far as the artisans go, I do have a global marketplace that I've created based on just my own personal travel and relationships that I've created along the way, whether it be the women, the Maasai women who beaded these bracelets, being able to make sure that they have an opportunity to create a cash flow for themselves, to the hand beaters who are in Morocco, working with the Sisal product and beading and, making some really intricate designs to, and Panama, the Luna tribe, the women there, they're known for their quilting and beading as well. All different, all looks very unique. But the most important part is the fact that, it's made well. Again, making a purchase like that helps to not only um, help the women with their businesses, but you're also allowing them to build up and develop their communities. So, if you're interested in hearing more about that, it's called addiction because we all have an addiction of some type. And for me, I have an addiction for handcrafted goods and helping people be inspired by the stories of those who are crafting them for them. So, it's all about keeping everything in movement, telling the stories, and what? Sharing the power of creativity to empower the world, because that's all I'm here to do. There we go. So normally when I make these, I only keep 4 rows. Normally it's 4 colors too. Like for instance, here, this square has 4 different colors. It's kind of washed out because of the light, but yeah, that's it. Here we go. And the granny square is the basis of a lot of things. And I will be putting out some patterns of things that I've been able to create with granny squares because uh, it's been a lot. you know, like whether it be throw pillows to a traveling neck pillow. That was interesting. To some design work on the back of jackets, to, you know, passport holder, um, full out sweater, granny square sweater, whether it be one with a crew neck or one that's like a shrug, and so many more. And now these hats. So I am going to be putting that together, and that is going to be something that I am going to offer up to the community as a way to, again, further emphasize how much I really love granny squares. My yarn ball keeps on getting stuck under my chair. Let's see here. We're at a corner for those who are keeping up. Uh-oh. So I'm just adding one more row to the granny squares that I have already because I wanted to make the beanie a little bigger so I can roll it around where it's slouched or have a little bit more space versus it being like a scully. To this corner. Hide this a little bit. So here we go. Let's see. Happy Sunday again, guys. I actually need to take another sip since this is a sip and stitch. Little shaka tea for the day. It's too hot to have anything else. I mean, outside of some water. So I am here having a little sip and stitch with some tea with no added sugar, and it comes from a superfood. So, you know, I'm winning. But yeah, happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully, you are somewhere being safe. Definitely social distancing. I'm here working on these beanies for Believe in What You Dream. In addition to once I finish doing live, I'm going to get back to working on the swimwear for the season because I had quite a few orders coming in. If you guys have not seen it already, I will be sure to post them again. I am making my version of a sangha, which, you know, the briefs that I call the Corrado after my cousin Conrad. We traveled to Croatia to do a launch of the Corrado along with the Melja Swimline swimwear period for yarn movement. So the other piece that I'm offering would be the cable tank. And I will be sure to share pictures and do those things. So if you are waiting for orders, know that I'm working on them. I wanted to make sure I came live because, again, every Sunday, I'm coming live to have discussions about my work and answer questions if you all have them. And just do a full out breakdown because there is a lot going on with the movement. So, just starting off with what I'm here doing now. So yarn movement It's a global fashion and lifestyle brand, and it's created to really help inspire consumers like yourselves to really honor and respect the um, handcrafted and handcrafters industry, because we really do work hard on pieces that are being created. It's nothing like going on Amazon and just purchasing from, you don't know the source. But when you can have a relationship with the artisan who's therefore creating something for you to wear and brag about, it's an extra special journey. And so that is what Yarn Movement is all about. And the pieces that are created, for my line at least, is all about being able to take it somewhere with you. It's about being a movement. So that movement for me is travel. So, whether it be, a passport holder, travel pillow, a sweater that you can wear multiple different ways, whether you're wearing it on a plane to wearing it, because you're moving into colder weather, or a swimsuit cover up like this one. Yes, it's a tank top, but it also is a swimsuit cover up. So if you are at a resort and you have to put on clothes to go into the restaurant, you can throw up on a swimsuit cover up like this and have a whole nother outfit. Or if you're looking to transition from pool to beach party, again, it's something you can throw on. And so when I'm creating pieces, that's what my mindset is being able to transition from one space to another. Um, when you hear and you see posts that says addiction, so addiction for me is that I have a yarn addiction. I love to crochet. I love just working with yarn. I love the colors. I love being able to just create not only fashion, art pieces. I love being able to be on set as a creative director and create a world for whatever photographer that I'm working with. And so for me, when I think of addiction, I'm addicted to having handcrafted things that are made with love. And so I decided that it would be really, really cool to put together, started off as a directory, where people were constantly like, oh, where did you get that? Whether it's like this necklace here, for instance. I wear this quite often, so I'm sure you guys have seen it. But this is a necklace that I picked up in Tanzania, and it was made by the Maasai tribe, the women from the Maasai tribe. And so I decided that if people are asking, that they should actually, I don't mind sharing. I'm not like most people, because most of the things I purchase anyway, like purchase internationally. So I can say, hey, this is where I got it. If you go there, you can get this. But now I can say, visit Addiction, which Addiction is this, online platform. It's a global marketplace where you'll find artisans who are making many of the things that you may see me wearing or posting, from the pocketbooks to the fans to the shoes, leather things that are handcrafted by leather, hand beaded, just handmade. We have Addiction. So Addiction is a way to do that. And the goal is really to, again, as I said, inspire consumers like yourselves to make valuable purchases where it's not just being manufactured and put out, but it's actually going into communities where these are rural areas sometimes, where a purchase of something that they're creating by handmade can really take them to the next month. You know, the community that I did the nonprofit work last year in Tanzania in rural areas, these women made the necklace and the bracelets that I'm wearing. And for them, $20 can get them through a month. And so coming back and being able to purchase from, artisans who are creating higher quality handcrafted goods, we're talking about if you're getting leather sandals that are handmade, they're curing the leather, they're handmade, hand beating, and higher quality at a lower price that will last you a longer time. And it's made with love. On top of that, you're able to help build that community up. And so I'm here live to explain those things because I think it's important. Um, hey there. Oh, it's all kind of people checking in. What's up, Pastor Miller? And Pastor Silver. Hey. And so those are two things. So it's Yarn Movement, which I explained. Addiction is the marketplace. I'll be creating attic boxes that I'm really excited about, where I'll be curating this box that you will receive when you order, that will be hand pieces that I picked up or curated for your box that are from different regions. And you get to have that in your possession. So it's beautiful jewelry, footwear, purses, just things that you can't just get here readily, but it can be handcrafted and delivered to your home. Next, we have the nonprofit arm of Yarn Movement, which is called Believe in What You Dream. So, Believe in What You Dream is we're helping young girls discover their superpowers. And we're doing so through a methodology. Many of you know that my background is in science, specifically behavioral science. And I've come up with a way to utilize crochet as a tool or a vehicle to help girls discover their superpowers by simply just showing how they connect their thoughts with their hands. And it's a 3-part workshop where we start off by doing dream catchers. Dream catchers are a way to, of course, many of us know the symbolism of a dream catcher, that is a way for anything that's blowing through. Those are the good dreams. Your bad dreams get tangled up. But for me, what that means that, growing up, it was always people telling me to follow my dreams. But even just the term follow requires, there should be instructions to go with that. So step 1, step 2, step 3. And for all of us, we can all say that our journeys are different. So even if you receive a step 1, your step 1 is going to be very different from someone else's step 1. And I didn't have those steps to go with me because I am like non-traditional in every way. I went to school to be a doctor, and I ended up all over the world traveling and working in fashion into working full-time in the music industry, and now running 3 businesses of my own. Like, that was not a planned out journey. That was a, girl, you need to pick one thing and get focused from everyone else, to now I've been able to align everything in a way that I can do all of it. And I've been able to do it in a successful way. So that's my journey, but someone else's journey is different. And so with Believe in What You Dream, we start off with the dream catcher itself as a way to help you visualize that literally you don't have to understand what is coming or how you're going to get there, and know you haven't been there yet, but you should know that you have a dream, number 1, because everyone has dreams. But 2, you should be able to believe it. And so every morning you wake up to this dream catcher to visualize, I do have dreams. No matter what anybody else says, that I can believe, right? You go to sleep, you wake up and go to sleep to the same thought. Like, that is my dream. I'm thinking about it. So next step is journaling your journey. So literally taking your journey. This is my journal here. And you write your dream out, but then it requires you to go back. And when you go back, you have to write out the steps that you took. So what exactly did you do? Like, exactly, like, write it down. Well, first I called this person. First I did this. I did this, this, and this, and this, right? Then it requires you to do something else. How well did that work out for you? Who shouldn't you do work with anymore? Which direction shouldn't you go? And what I'm teaching the girls is to do that over and over again in a repetitive manner, for 6 to 12 months until we meet again or we check in. And then ultimately to continue to do that process. So 5 years, 10 years from now, when you go back to it, along that way, if you continue to know that you woke up and you had dreams that you believed and you're taking steps, you're going to have success. And how are you going to really just put yourself in a space where you have a way to, measure your success that you have, or even just scale it? You have to have some kind of written proof of what you did. And that's what this becomes. Your journal, you're going to have multiple journals, and you literally go back to the steps that you took, because sometimes the steps are out of order, right? Where you figure out along the way that when you get to step 8 should have been step 2. And then you go back to step 2 and you're like, oh, now this makes sense. And so that is literally what I see being explained by any online guru right now. They're showing you your purpose. You're finding your purpose. But you already know your purpose if you recognize and understand that you have a dream to believe in, right? And when you're on your process, you're taking the time to understand, what do you care about most throughout all of it? And when you realize what you care about most, that is your passion. Everyone has passion. It comes in the form of, we call it faith. We call it, being dope, but for me, my whole goal is to make sure that these young girls that I'm meeting, that I'm just sparking it to let them know that it's there. right? Because many of these girls are, anywhere from 10, my target is 12 to 17, but I've worked with girls from 9 on up to 18, 19. And my goal is to just, hey, you have something to believe. So do the dream catchers as a visual understanding, because you're thinking about your dream, you're linking it to something that you can visualize, then you're writing it, right? So this is the second thing that you're linking it to. Third, I teach crochet. So crochet for me, I've been able to carry crochet from junior high school, right? So junior high all the way into now, into every industry, and it's been, a thriving force for me to roll through things, because crochet taught me one thing: how to connect everything. While everyone was telling me pick one thing, there's no way you can connect it, I was able to connect it because just through the process, again, of thinking and linking it to life. If someone come to me, like when I first learned to crochet, there's only 4 stitches, literally. You learn 4 stitches in crochet, and then you put together whatever patterns that you want to. Someone can give you a pattern. That is someone giving you instructions in life. Hey, follow these steps so you can get this a result. But you're still going to do it in your own way. And I've been able to do it in my own way. And that is what I'm teaching them, to have that kind of flexibility, to understand that even though someone gives you instructions on how you should go about doing it, that you're still going to find your own style, your own groove, and you're going to find the part of it that you care about most. And for these girls in the areas that we're going into, that is a theoretical empowerment that is required for them to be able to do anything in life. Being able to have that kind of confidence in themselves, that no matter what anybody else says, that they can think about what they want to do and link it to doing something with their hands, whether it be, being really great at math, you know, learning how to cook, and doing that well, writing a story, writing checks, counting money, whatever it may be, that they can have that theoretically empowerment to know that they can do that. And then also, it's a double whammy because, hey, listen, all of this time I've been able to build a business, meanwhile having a career, but always have this business as a side to make sure that I can have a cash flow. And for girls in these areas, it's important because society, in their certain areas right now, the culture is that if you're not educated, it's time for you to be a mother. And for many of the girls, because they don't have the money to either go to school, pay for the uniform that's required, or even pay for, unfortunately, sanitary products, so they don't, bleed on themselves all day. And then, we're still talking about kids, so still have to deal with that psychological aspect of being teased and just trying to get the school to do something so they can do something in life, not going to dropping out. And the numbers of the girls who do drop out, that once you become pregnant, you can't go back to school. It's not like here, there's not a GED program. There's not a whole bunch of programs that are set up that society says that once you become a mom, you're a mom. And so the goal is to just, again, all my mission is to just let them know that you do have a dream to believe in. Here are 3 steps that should be easy for you to capture, that doesn't require you to go through a bunch of bumping your heads, falling off, failing, trying to get through stuff, that you can understand now and figure out how you can utilize it in your life moving forward. That's all the Believe in What You Dream program is. But one of the things I did decide to do, that while I'm all getting them hype over having cute things to show them, and I'm smiling and, getting them to a point where they're like super excited about life, that it is important to address the social disparities that are being faced in the different areas. So last year, or even just 4 years ago, when I first started just doing research to even get to the point where I started the nonprofit itself, I went to Nigeria. And this is a culture that it's not my culture. I don't speak the language. I never had been on continent before, but I wanted to go in as a scientist to see what kind of research that I could do to make sure that it will be received, or was I just going down the wrong path? And so what I discovered, it was received, and that it wasn't something that was super foreign, but it needed to be able to have context to understand how you can relate it to life and kind of utilize it in a way that can be empowering. And the follow-up year went to Morocco, and I had a more of a control setting, and I understood that after doing the research in Nigeria that really needed to put it into a program. That is one of the things about nonprofits, especially when you're collecting money from people and people are making contributions. It's important for you to show them how their money is being used. And so again, I didn't ask for money for anyone. I took literally all of 100% of my proceeds from Yarn Movement to really fund me going. So I work with 30 girls. I did a program, the 3 parts that I just went through of creating a dream catcher, journaling your journey, and learning to crochet. And also I decided that one of the things that I would do is face one social disparity. And that was just being able to give girls something that made them feel like girls. So instead of just bringing them regular journals, I brought them pink journals that were sparkly and purple, along with some candy and some nail polish and some lip gloss. And we went through the process of going around the room where each of them were able to share what their dreams are. When they get older, I want to be. And I went through prompted questions to kind of walk them through that process of making sure that they knew it's not just about writing it down, but it's about writing down your journey along with it. And so ended up working with the 30 girls there, and I noticed something else. And that something else, that my own journey while I was there, I started my cycle and I wasn't on calendar to do so. And it could have been, just the matter of, hormones. I was traveling with another group of girls. We were shooting a documentary and my cycle came. I didn't have enough product with me. And so we went into the stores, nothing was available. And when I say nothing that I use, and it wasn't like it was a section with a bunch of different options. And luckily, the girls who were traveling with me had product, and so I was good. But I was curious to understand the girls who are going through it day to day, who live in the region that is their reality. What do they do? And so I was just thrown back by their responses because, it went a range from nothing, don't go to school, use clothes, to use mud. And I was just blown back by the responses, and it wasn't okay with me. Of course, I didn't have a knee-jerk response in the moment, just because I was collecting the information and I didn't want to make them feel, a certain type of way, because a norm is a norm. If you don't know, you don't know. And so last year going into Tanzania was really the true test. So I had all my research needed, put together the program, and now it's time to really like pilot test the work that can happen and get other people involved. Just because from that other moment, I realized another thing, that I wanted to take some of the social disparities that I saw in both areas, and power was a really bad one. Not having light at night, just me being a woman myself, I just think about being a little girl and the terror that's attached to being in the dark. Whether you watch a dark, like a scary movie and you're in the dark and it's just like scary, to actually the real things that happen and the elephants in the room that people don't want to address at first, that, the molestation that happens, the different things that are happening within the home before they get to school. And, I figured there was an easy way to just address it really quick. And that easy way turned out for me being solar lamps. They charge in the sun, they can use them at night. They don't require batteries. They don't require you to have like electrical built into your place for you to plug it in and have a charge on it. So went and sat down with a solar energy company and told them my story, and shared, just like I'm sharing with you all right now, the importance for me of being able to just offer that. Meanwhile, not just getting them hyped, but also, providing some kind of seed of hope and planting that seed for them. And so the solar energy company, they have already been doing work in Tanzania region, and it just kind of worked out, and they decided that we were going to go into schools and they were going to install solar into the schools, in addition to doing the solar lamps. We do the workshop, and then also the other part was to provide the personal care. So it was personal care products, where it would be sanitary napkins and hygiene products like soap and lotions and things like that, to the personal energy, which was the solar lamp, along with the solar that was being installed in the schools. And then the workshop, to believe in what you dream, which is the is the center and the core of the program, but wanted to be sure to just address those things first. And it was really well received. There's a lot of things that happen like emotionally that I just wasn't prepared for. You know, me coming in with no matter how much traveling I've done and no matter how many different regions I've been in, you know, I've always meet some new disparity or some new, you know, experience. And in this case, here we are. This is day 2 of being in Tanzania. We're on our journey to get to the schools. It was an 8-hour drive into the Serengeti because we went deep. That's normally the area where people are just going on safari. And so literally we're on a safari ride, quote unquote, but we're on our way to go to the hotel so we can start our work and our mission the next day. So literally it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday, which is why I choose Sunday to do the sip and stitches and have these discussions. But it's a Sunday afternoon. We're driving, we're in the safari truck, we're seeing all these animals. We're having traffic jams with, you know, the cow and the cattle that's passing through the road. We're seeing Maasai warriors with their cattle and the kids who are running around. And it's just beautiful, like frontier, you know, where you get to see everything that you will see on a National Geographic, except for we're on our way just driving to get to the school. Something that I saw on the way was that there were kids walking on the road too. I mean, same animal, you know, like animals and kids, and people are just walking everyone together. Like, you know, these are unpaved roads, it's dirt roads, and everyone's just out. So I asked the driver, where are these kids going? Because they have on uniforms, right? And he said, oh, they're going to school. So it took me like 10 minutes to process again. And I'm like, okay, so they go to school on Sundays? And he's like, no, they have to walk the day before so they're not late to school. Wow. Right? So I let that one ride. And the next day we get to the school. And again, I had this information of understanding like, okay, the kids had to walk the night before. You know, that also meant that they slept on the road. And it's that important for them to get to school on time that they go the day before and they sleep on the road. But the animals outside, everyone's, you know, it's crazy. But they're there at the school. Pull up to the first school. So I should keep this first. I should tell you this tidbit. My goal was 300. Many of you, thank you again for supporting Believe in What You Dream last year. The number was 300 girls, right? This is our first day. We have 27 days ahead, you know, but this is our first day. And we go to this school. There are 1,200 kids at this school in the middle of rural Serengeti, Tanzania, and looking at me with big, bright smiles. And it was in that moment that I knew that not only is Believe in What You Dream a great program, but this is something that's needed. And also more people need to be involved because I'm looking at the previous year. I'm in Morocco. I have these 30 girls. I don't speak the language, you know, like, cause they speak Arabic and French. And I'm here having these muted discussions on teaching them how to, you know, make a dream catcher, which is easy because you can just show people visual, and then telling them to write their dream, which I needed their teachers to, you know, tell them what to write. And then I'm teaching them the crochet, again, a muted version, you know, but it worked out, right? So 30 girls without help with just a translator, I know I can handle. So going to the school last year, it was meant to be 10 schools, 30 girls, 10 times 30, you know, 300. So no, 300 girls beyond at this one school, 1,200 kids. And it was like that every single school we went to. And another thing happened that these were primary schools. So primary schools are a mixture between, you know, like, I guess preschool, kindergarten to ninth grade, right? 1,200 kids. So then sit down, we're talking to the principal. We had to kind of get over this hurdle because they're used to people who are coming in to do work asking for payment from them, which is interesting because when we see nonprofits, we're not shared that information all the time. And it's probably because that's just a built-in mechanism of how they continue to sustain their businesses or whatever it may be. But the fact that we had to sit there and have a conversation and let them know, like, no, we're here to do this work for free because we care. That was one hurdle. The next hurdle was, explaining to the principal, I'm saying I'm coming in, and I went through the whole part of the program, which he spoke English. So it would translate it well for me to go through and explain the Think Link methodology to him. And he was like really okay with it. He really excited. And he just like, you're going to teach these girls in a few hours how to crochet and all the other stuff. And he was more or less like, okay, I can't wait to see this. Right. And so after the 2 hours were like up, he comes back in, and all the girls, if you watch the videos that are on YouTube or the ones that I share, you'll see the girls like, we start off by making a headband, which is just a chain. It's just a chain. A chain is the foundation of everything. You start crocheting, you need a chain. And so we do headbands a few times, and then we get into some of the other stitches. But to get the headband in that first chain and to get it correct, it does take some time because you have to hold your hands properly. You have to, get into a rhythm of some type. And so the girls get into the rhythm, they get these, headbands created. The principal comes back in, and he's blown away. He's like, wow. He's just like, you know, can I introduce you to another group? And I was just like, sure, because we have, the Fundis. The Fundis are the engineers who were installing the solar. They were still working. So, I was like, sure. So is a group of older girls, and these older girls are all moms, and they're not in school. But in that region, at least, UNICEF created UNESCO created a program for like girls to do like kind of like a workforce lifestyle development for them to kind of do sex ed, which is crazy because they already have babies. But sex ed, and it's an entrepreneurial program to help them kind of like figure out what they can do. So it was perfect because teaching crochet obviously has a economic empowerment to it of being able to have a sustainable income, a cash flow, or business that you can create, obviously. And so went in, and one thing that I was always taught is that you're always prepared if you have something that's going to inspire someone. And so without knowing anything other to do, I just opened up my phone, pulled up pictures from, fashion shows and from photo shoots and from some of the work that I've done before. And I just started talking, telling them, I was a little girl like you, in school, trying to figure out what I was going to do with myself, whether it be go to college, what career was I going to have. And I was like, but it was always clear to me that I was going to have a career. It was always clear to me that I was going to do something in the world and that I was going to, change lives. And I'm talking, and I'm, explaining that I'm there from United States, from California. And, I started passing out the bags that I created, that has like the stuff, the materials for the workshop, along with the fact that this group, they were of age for the sanitary products. So they received that. Something came out of that conversation again that I wasn't expecting. And that was one of the girls asked if I had diapers, and it wasn't something I thought of during the process. And I hadn't decided really if I was going to even incorporate it moving forward, but it was definitely something to think about because if they need sanitary products, they also would need diapers too. Right. Um, but yeah, so then one of the girls, she jumps up, she like jets out the room, and I don't know. I saw her leave, and I just wanted to remain in the moment. And then, again, I already know I'm not for everyone, right? It is for a particular type of person, but if it is, it's on, right? And so I just figured maybe she wasn't into it. She had to go to the bathroom. I don't know. This girl comes back with like 30, 40 girls, all with their babies on their backs. Like they have them, wrapping their car on their back, and they're walking in, and they're quietly walking in. The room is not quite really big enough for all of them to seat comfortably, but they they squish together and they're like, they're so supportive of each other. They're like, oh, come on, girls, enough space for you to sit here, and it was just a powerful moment that wasn't expected. Again, you come in with one mindset before you start doing something, and that is the power of opening up a door. You really see the things that can come from it, and that was basically the journey the whole time. Every school we went to, it was the same outcome. All these groups of girls who were mothers and looking for just looking for something to believe in. And walking in, they were the ones who were in the mindset of like, whatever it is that you're going to teach us or show us or give us, we're here to receive it. And that is why I am on live today, because I wanted to be able to share those stories, encourage you all to get involved, whether you want to make a contribution to the nonprofit. It is a registered 501c3, so your contributions are tax deductible. Um, Given the fact that we are in this strange time in the States right now, there's a few new policies that have been created for programs that are 501c3s, where it's not just a tax deduction, but it also becomes a deduction from your income by 60%. So you get a double whammy on that one. That is going to be a benefit for you. If you're interested in making a donation, you want to visit donate.yarnmovement.com. If you are a crocheter and you're interested in um, making some squares, there takes 8 squares to make a crochet granny square beanie. And these granny square beanies are being sold where 100% of the proceeds will go towards the nonprofit. One beanie will support 2 girls to receive those Dream Girl kits that I was just telling you about. And just for those who are just probably tuning in and watching, the Girl kits include supplies for the workshop. It includes the personal hygiene products, along with sanitary napkins for those who are of age, of course. Um, and I should say sanitary products, because I'm looking at really partnering with a more sustainable supply. So it be something that lasts a little longer, which is like a, menstrual cup, or continue to work with the organization I worked with last year, which is called AfriPads, which those are women, again, with similar stories of being child brides and child moms, where the CEO or the founder, she established these different warehouses where they're sewing tables and they're making reusable pads using a product that is, um, washable. So it's more sustainable for the environment without using plastic. And so that was a great option. And she actually launched originally in Uganda, and she's in a few different countries now, along with being in Tanzania. So it just worked out as a great organization. Shout outs to my boy Dre from Howard. He's the one who put me onto them. And yeah, but just looking for more sustainable ways, because those AfriPads, at least, they last for 3 years. So there is a time on it, but also it requires them to have the space, time, and energy to wash them and hang them up to dry, and just looking for other ways. So those are included along with the solar lamp. So if you all are interested in being involved and being a part of the journey to help these girls, please join. And if it's not for you, tell someone who may be interested, and um, keep that cycle going, because the goal is to really, I'm going after impacting 1 million girls. So I'm going to be on this journey for a minute. But I don't think it will take that long of a time if I have a group, and it doesn't require a whole body or whole, a community. But if the community comes, then we can get to that number quicker. especially given the fact that by myself I was able to do 3,000. And so I just can only imagine if one or two more people come on, that means that that number can be increased to, 9,000 next time. And that also means that that's about 20,000 girls that can be impacted and more. So think about it. Share the video, share the story. If you're interested in hearing a little bit more about it, let me know. You can ask me any questions. And if you are not interested in contributing to the nonprofit, I do have Yarn Movement, and right now it is swim season. So I'm making swimwear, and for me, a portion of the proceeds is going towards the nonprofit. So it all goes in the same pot for me. So it doesn't matter which way you decide to support, but I just ask that you do support and be involved with, something that's good. My work is done out of compassion and love, and I really, really love doing this, and I get to do it full time. And there's nothing better or more greater than that. So donate.yarnmovement.com. If you're looking for products, you can go to products with an S .yarnmovement.com, and you can make a custom order there. Again, I just mentioned the swimwear, but like this here that I'm wearing here, this is a custom made swimsuit cover. So yes, it could be worn as a tank top or a dress because it is long enough. Um, but it's really for covering up your swimwear. And I got the idea on one of my trips because y'all know I love to travel. And we were in Cancun, and I was at my friend's. She was doing her renewal of her vows, and we were going from the pool, being in the pool all day, to going into the restaurant. And on the resort, it required for you to wear something. You couldn't just walk in your swimwear and into the restaurant. And so from that trip, I decided to just make something cute to put on that was still a swimsuit cover up, but it served enough that it's cute where it can pass off as a dress. So this, of course, the beanies that I'm making here, I will put the link to the beanies. In addition to the actual beanie itself, there is a piece of art or wearable art that goes with it. I'm partnered with a painter. Actually, his name is Nicholas Mayfield. I don't know if you guys saw the videos already, but if you haven't, I'll be sure to share some of the stuff. He really does really dope like propaganda art where it's a lot of strong messages behind the things that he's painting in a way of like activism. And so for the t-shirts, it's more or less just sharing the story of since the focus has been in Africa, little Black girls, and being able to really empower them to be fearless leaders of the future. So I'll be sure to share that link. And again, the beanie, one beanie serves two girls. And so that's a way. Products, I'm making swimwear right now, but I'm also gearing up for winter because summer is pretty much done. 2000, 2000, 2020 has been taken away from us. Some of us are respecting and honoring quarantine like me. I'm in the house. But there are people who are like, going to Vegas, going to Miami, going to beach. So if that's what you're doing, might as well have something cute. And if you're going to wear something cute and you can empower or, impact a girl's life, holla at me. Yep. That's my story. Yeah, and since this is a sip and stitch, I'm going to grab my sip, which is coming from Shaka Tea today. Because I don't know where you guys are checking in from, but it's 1,000 degrees in California today. 1,000, y'all. The sun is doing its thing. Shaka Tea. This is a Hawaiian tea company for every diet. whether you're doing keto, you're vegan, which I'm not vegan. Um, I'm sometimes Okay. Hopefully there's sound. I was told that I was Teddy Bryling on YouTube. Okay, now that I have to do that part over, and then I just need to do the other side and just close it off. Okay, yeah, I did it right that time. Bloopers! No sound, and I made it the wrong direction. Jeez, come on, Chantel, get your life together. Okay, so now for the other side. So again, you're just gonna fold it as if you're doing like a pillow cover. I think that's what happened to my sound. My keyboard was in the way. Okay, so I'm just closing off this other edge for our beanie. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Doo, 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 doo. Appreciate you guys for sticking around with me. Hopefully you could hear me on Facebook. I was getting deep into my story. Jeez. I'm gonna have to add a little piece there and picked up that piece that I just cut off. Okay. And there we go. So this side is done. You just want to tie it off again. And this is just more so just secure the stitch so it doesn't unravel. You don't want your hat to unravel on you. That would be tragic. Or unravel in the washing machine or something. So I just do extra weave back so it could be double secure. And then I'll cut the edge off. And then for this last part, this is really simple. So you're making it so you can kind of, you're just gonna pull the top up. Okay. And we're almost done. Because we're doing this together, even though you guys are just watching. Okay. Boom. So, oh, not boom yet. Yeah, okay. Now it can be a boom. So literally, just gonna close the top. Just gonna close the top here. If you were interested in putting like a pom-pom at the top, this is when you will put the pom-pom in. But we're not doing pom-poms. This hat is busy enough on its own. It doesn't need a pom-pom. So you just want to secure it at the top. Me, I try to do some cross weaving back just so it's double secure. So doing some X. You want to do one on this side. Okay. Then you want to just cut off the extra because you already have it secured enough. Let's see. Okay. So then our beanie is complete. Ain't it cute? This is our granny square beanie. I made it a little bigger so you can roll it up. You know, like. So if you guys see someone wearing a granny square beanie, it's because, hopefully it's because they participated in Believe in What You Dream of sponsoring a girl or two or three or four or whole school, you know. So this is today's project. And today's sip, of course, came from Shaka Tea. And I will be signing out. But before I do, I want to remind you all, if you are interested in making a donation for Believe in What You Dream or making a purchase with Yarn Movement for Believe in What You Dream, you want to go to donate.yarnmovement.com And for getting a crochet product, whether it be, swimwear or something extra snazzy that you may want for, your collection at home, you can go to products.yarnmovement.com. Or you can just reach out to me and we can have a discussion and get you started, get you going, and I'll look forward to it. All right. I am S. Ladybug signing out. And for YouTube, thank you all for being here to witness my very first live with YouTube. Obviously, I had a little hiccup because of the sound, but I'll be sure to fix that the next time. But thank you again for checking in and being here and watching this video all the way to the end. And I will check in with you guys soon. Be sure to follow me on all channels, social channels at Yarn Movement. That's on IG, that's on Facebook. I'm not really on Twitter, but I'm feeling like I need to do a little bit more there since that's a way to do some quick bits. So thank you all again. Be sure to check in with the upcoming episode of Fly Girls. And every Sunday, I will be here live at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to do a sip and stage. Next time will be a different sip and a new stitch where we'll be working on a new Granny Square beanie. Okay? S. Ladybug. Checking out. Okay. Okay, I'm checking out.